example story. The first thing we're going to do is download Alex Wemley's Time Travel to Prevent Climate Change Twine story. We'll click here. The first thing that's going to pop up is a bunch of different information, words, and text and numbers, which might look confusing. But all we have to do is go to the right-hand corner, click the download button, and the download should pop up in our left-hand corner. Once we click that, we'll see the Twine story. It greets us. Welcome to the new New York City. The year is 2460. Much of what used to be New York City is underwater. You are the mayor of New York City. You were just elected in a landslide victory because of your plan to reduce the terrible effects of climate change. This gives us some exposition and backstory to what's going on. We'll notice that in blue, there's a link that says climate change. If we click it, we'll be taken to another page. And it will tell us, here's some links to climate change information. The official student challenge to climate change resource page. This video from Bill Nye the Science Guy. Short answers to hard questions about climate change. And New York City's climate vulnerabilities. You could pursue these different informational texts, but let's just go back to the story. So we'll click here. Once again, we're greeted by Welcome to New York City. You are at Brooklyn College, sitting in a room waiting for a meeting. You take a deep breath and your mind wanders. We'll click here to begin our story and begin our game. Things sure are different since most of the city is underwater. You can see the ocean out the window right now. It's another warm December afternoon, like you remember from when you were growing up in the 2430s. Breathe in. Another link to continue our story. The sun sparkles over the water. You take a deep breath in. The door creaks open, and a woman in a lab coat walks in. Hello, I'm Dr. Time. Thank you for coming to meet with me today. I have something important to show you. What do you say? What is it? Don't bother, I'm going to leave. Tell me later. Let's click, what is it? I think you're going to like what I have to show you. Tell me more. Well, I know you are trying to undo the damage that climate change has done to this world. The rising sea level covered my house in water. The heat is unbearable. We all wish you could have done more in the past, but turning off the lights and getting some solar panels wasn't enough to stop the buildup of greenhouse gases. We needed a leader to go back in time and convince Americans and their government to stop ignoring the dangers of climate change. We need to get them pass the law to protect our environment and for everyone to join in the movement together. Without your help, 2016 is the year that Americans turned their backs on the environment, and after politicians were elected who refused to listen to the scientists, they said that climate change was a hoax. But I have huge news. I've discovered something in my lab here at Brooklyn College, and I have made a time machine. Let's click that and see what happens. Dr. Time continues. You have to be careful. Once you go back in time, you can't touch anyone. If you do, it could rip space-time to shreds. You'll have to only use your words to solve this crisis. Also, you can't kill or physically harm anyone in the past. That will also cause permanent damage to the time stream. You need to focus on educating people, organizing people to make change as a group, and make sure we pass laws that encourage people to protect ourselves and our planet. Here is the time machine. You go to the time machine and turn it on. The room fills with mist. The dial stops at 2016. You have successfully traveled back in time. What do? Do you become a TV writer and make a hit TV show about climate change, become an activist, or run for president? It's up to you. You'll notice that there are different links to click. Each of these give us a different options. Let's click on a TV writer. You decide to be a TV writer. You could either create a new show or quit your job. Let's create a new show. You decide to make a new show about climate change. You think, how could it start? What if I got bored and wanted to quit my job? You quit your job and you travel back in time. You realize that this was a bad idea to quit your job and you could have saved the world. Try again. And that brings us back to the first page. These Twine stories are going to give your readers and gamers a lot of options on how they want to pursue a different narrative. Let's take a look at how to build a Twine story.